Well guys, that is my first day out buddying done. What a long day that's been. Not necessarily in any disrespect to the buddy in any way, shape or form. He has been absolutely fantastic. He's taught me more about the general running of how you do things. Ways of doing things. It cuts, not necessarily corners, but makes things slightly easier for you, makes life easier for yourself. So I am actually, it's 7 minutes past 5. I am on my way to the store right this very second because I am in the shop tonight, 5 until 8. Then I'm back on the bus tomorrow morning at 5, I think it's 7 minutes past 5. So it's very, very, very busy. I think I'll be on the go. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. Obviously, right this very second I'm not working, I'm driving to the store, so I am commuting to my job. But at the same point, I have been, when I could, I have been replying to messages, I have been trying to reply to things and obviously keep in touch with Pam to let her know where I am and what I'm doing. I was very worried about today, if I'm totally honest with you. It would be the first proper time I was driving in rush hour traffic and stuff like that. Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best, but at the same point there's still a lot to learn. Every day's a school day. But we're stuck in traffic at the moment, which has been something that's happened a couple of times today. We had the early morning rush hour traffic around about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, which I've seen, and I am now stuck in the 5 PM rush hour traffic on the way back to Paisley. I had a couple of different runs today, which has been quite good, which gives me the opportunity to see different parts of the runs in different areas where I'm going to be working. Basically gives me a new appreciation for bus drivers. I know a lot of people would have probably said that it's not necessarily the greatest of jobs, but these guys and girls that are out on the road, for me, sounds maybe a bit silly for someone to say this, it's only just in the job, but these people put their life on the line every single day. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're out fighting fires and stuff like that. I mean, that's not necessarily what I'm meaning. What I'm meaning is the amount of idiots that are on the actual road just now. People that don't have a clue on how to drive and cut up buses. You've got people on your bus at any given point. You can make a mistake and you can cause an accident any given time, and you've got to then live with yourself with that. What I would probably say is one of the not nice things about having to drive the bus is the possibility of injuring someone, but I suppose it's just the hand that you're dealt. It could happen at any given time. At the same point, it's a long day. From a personal point of view, being what I would class as a new driver, even though I have been buddied before and I've been through the whole process and I have done 1 or 2 runs myself with no supervision, I still class myself as a new driver, especially when it comes to the bus. I'd like to think of myself as a relatively good driver, but it's hard. It's very, very long shifts. You might be up for 12 full hours, but you're getting maybe 1.5, maybe 2 hours of break in between, which is, I suppose it's good. But at the same point, I still think your break should be paid for, because you're still talking work the entire time. You're still talking road diversions, you're still talking about what's happening on the road, seeing a totally different side of it. It's not necessarily me saying I dislike it. It's just, what I would say is this is a lot harder, not necessarily than I thought. I knew it was going to be difficult. It's going to take a bit of getting used to from being in the store for all of this time, and then obviously trying to adapt, change skill sets and stuff like that. But obviously the whole day that I was driving around, I was still thinking about the store, thinking about the fact that the house is for sale and there's going to be a new restock. All these different things that are going through my head the entire time when I'm driving. You don't get a chance to really switch off. You think you do, but you really don't. Anyway, I've rabbited on probably way too much and said way too much. Thanks to my buddy, if you're watching, I appreciate you, man. Minutes past 7. I am absolutely shattered. I've got 0 left in the tank. I think I've done 4 sharpenings and I've done 5 sharpenings actually, and I've done a heat mold tonight. It's been very, very quiet. It's very interesting to see how the season has completely and utterly finished now. It's more or less very, very few and far between when you see a customer coming in. Again, we're kind of used to that in the summer, especially where we are. it's disappointing when you see it like that, if I'm honest. I'd like to see it slightly busier, obviously from a personal point of view, so I'm actually busy when I'm in the store instead of annoying Pamela all the time. General stuff, Pamela's been working away on some emails and orders, and I have not really been doing much else other than trying to keep my eyes open. So I am literally, as soon as that hits 8 o'clock, I'm home and I'm straight to bed because I am absolutely shattered. I am up at 4 o'clock for a 5 o'clock start, and I think it's a 3:30 finish tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but I will double check that. But either way, it's going to be a long day, longer than it should be, if I'm honest. Today's a very, very long day, and there still is stuff that has to be done. I'm going to make sure that I can actually get everything organised tonight, so I'm not chasing my tail in the morning. Not that I am usually in my uniform. Pamela was absolutely brilliant for me last night. She managed to wash my new uniform and get it ready for this morning for me, and it was laid out on the banister outside the spare room, so that was all ready to go this morning. So when I got up this morning, I went straight for a shower, got ready, and then went straight to work. I luckily made it with 10 minutes to spare, because what you basically got to do is you've got to turn up 10 to 20 minutes early to pick up your bus, and then when you pick up your bus, you've then got 10 minutes to then do all your checks, your safety checks and stuff like that, then get out the depot and get to start your dead run. So what that means is you then have to run out of service to a specific point where you start from, then you have to wait for your start time, and then you start time, you've got a running board which tells you timing points, where you're meant to be, and what times you've got to be there for. So yeah, it can be a bit daunting, especially when you're learning that kind of stuff, but at the same point it's part and parcel of the job. Pamela, what are you up to and how have you been?
I am fine, I think. I'm tired. I hate to say that because I know you're extremely tired. I'm tired. It's been a long week. We finally have a sign outside of our house, so the last thing I need to do is write how wonderful our house is for the advert, which I'm busy trying to do. So yes, I have been trying to work on this all week, and this is the first time I've actually had to do it.
I definitely need my bed. I'm not cut out for doing 16, 17 hour days without sleep. It's been extremely difficult in the last couple of weeks because I haven't been sleeping. Even when I was away on holiday, I was struggling to get to sleep. Genuinely think I've got a case of insomnia again. I really struggle, especially when I've got to be up early the next morning. I really it's like a nervous anxiety about the next day. I don't know why, but anyway, maybe I should go and see about it. I'm just about to fall asleep, and the sound of my own voice is making me tired. So that's that's not necessarily a good thing when you're making YouTube videos. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early, maybe for a check-in 10 to 5. Okay, so this is a bit of a turn up for the books. I'd already said bye-bye and I was going home to my bed, but Pamela forgot to inform me tonight that we had a special guest in the store. So we have the Paisley Pirates podcast here tonight, so we are going to be on the Paisley Pirates podcast. So stay tuned for that one. That'll probably be out before us, but if it's not, then I'll link it in the description below and you guys can go and have a look at it or listen. I'm going to go and do this and see how we go. Well, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another day. It is, I don't even know the date. I can't look at my phone because I'm driving or sitting in traffic as usual. It's 3:15 at the moment. I have literally just finished work on the bus job. I am heading home because it has been not necessarily a stressful day. It's been a good day. My buddy is brand new. He's really down to earth, and the diplomatic way I'm going to put this is he's teaching you stuff that you don't get in the training, and it's stuff that you actually can use out on the road, which is, in my opinion, it's really good. But other than that, I am back in the store on Saturday. I was hoping to be back in the shop on Friday, but because of a couple of things to do with shift changes and stuff like that, unfortunately I'm not going to be in on Friday, which is a day lost on services. So I'm going to have to try and make up the time on Saturday because it's imperative I get a lot of stuff done. There's a couple of jobs that are sitting waiting for me to get finished or even to get started. I've got Robin's goalie pads that are in for new buckles and a sewn zip. That has to get fixed as soon as possible because he could be back on the ice or back home from holiday next week, and we'll just need to see how it goes. hopefully it's a relatively straightforward repair and fix. So we'll see how we go. So also we have a monumental occasion this weekend. We have a kid-free weekend, and no, there won't be any pregnancy scares or anything like that, just so you know. We're in the fortunate position that Pamela's mum has offered to take the kids for the Saturday night, which means that Pamela and I can actually go out for food, out for dinner. So it's a date night for the first time in a long time, probably since the wedding, where we've actually had a night to ourselves, which is going to be good. It's not for any other reason that we're just going to be able to go out and be ourselves without having to be Stephen from the shop, Pamela from the shop, Dad, Mum, whatever else. We're just going to go out and have a wee dinner and see where the night takes us. Back to normal services as of next week with the store. I am, like I say, I'm out on the bus on Monday, which is again another long shift. I think it's 10 over 12, which means that you're working a 12-hour shift, but you're actually only working 10 hours over that 12 period. I'm hoping that obviously I can possibly recharge the batteries on Friday, Saturday and Sunday this weekend, because at least Friday night it's going to be a long day, because I'm probably going to come home from the bus job and then go straight to the store if I can, catch up on some stuff, hit the gym, then I'm going to go home and crash out, and then the next morning or the next afternoon I'm in the store 12:30 till 5, and then I'll get the whole Sunday off, which is going to be good because I've got a day out on my own. I need to be clear-minded and level-headed to be able to do what I'm going to be doing. So we'll see how that goes. I'll tune in with you guys maybe later on. If not later on, I'll be back in tomorrow in the bus job, and I'll give you an update how my last day of buddying went.
Well, good morning, YouTubers. It is Friday. It is slightly after 12 because I'm running late. I had a little bit of a morning to myself and went to meet up with... Oh, look at that. Lights aren't working. Do you know why they're not working? Because it's rained. And it's turned off the electric ring. So we have to open the electric box and switch them back on again. There you go, we have light. So I had a bit of a morning to myself for the first time in a very long time. And I went to meet my cousin Laura at her house for a cup of coffee and a chit chat. Her kids are off on holiday, same as our kids obviously. And she works from home, so she's a kind of virtual job. So she can take a wee break in the morning. So I took them some cakes and we touched in. So we're going to get all the kids together on Monday afternoon. So we can get a wee play together and the kids can catch up with their cousins. So that'll be quite good fun. So since we last spoke to you, I'm just putting the legs on, so please bear in mind the jiggly wilkie. If you don't know what a jiggly wilkie is, I am not going to explain it. Anyway, so since we last spoke to you, we have gone live, or we will be going live right now with our house. So it'll be on the market, officially on Purple Bricks and officially on Rightmove. So that's happening now as we speak. I've just got to confirm the advert. The advert will be live. So that's good. So the plans start really formulating now. Loft conversions, garden conversions, plans for the shop, plans for the future. Hoping it doesn't stay in the market long. It's a very, very good market for selling just now. So we're hoping it moves really quickly. Sorry, I'm setting up my laptop because I'm running late because I had to go home and let the dogs out. So I'm going to get computer on. I really want to get price list formulated, finished preparing stock orders for when we finally get our house sold. A couple of emails to send, check in with the website, get the website kind of moving and starting to move to function properly. We've got a couple of new sticks in the box coming in today. We've got one of the LX3 sticks, not the top end one. We've got more of the kind of entry price point to have a look at. And I say an entry price point, it's not an entry stick because Warrior has the Rise sticks, which is their entry recreational sort of beginner level stick. So this is the next price point above that, and that is the Alpha. I brought the Covert QR6 Rev in, which is I guess, the direct price point equivalent to the Alpha LX3, where we can compare them. So that'll be quite interesting to see finish on them all. Now, they are two very different sticks. One is a mid kick and one is a low kick. But we're going to look at them side by side with them being the same price point. So they're coming in today. Unfortunately, the delivery didn't come this morning and I've obviously had to come up here. I have left instructions to leave it in our safe zone, but it's raining and I don't really want it sitting outside for any length of time. So I might drop the shutter and run down the road quickly to bring it up. I guess it all depends on when it is delivered. So I'll keep an eye on the camera, our Ring camera at home, see when it's delivered, and then we'll take it from there. We're going to get this day started and then we're going to touch base with you as we go out throughout the day. So yeah, all positive. In my lunch bag today I have good old iron brew. I have got sausage mash, and I brought Stephen a chicken and bacon pasta bake. So that will be for when he manages to get off the bus. I think he is finishing at 3:07, off at 3:07. So by the time he gets from the city centre on a bus down to the depot, picks the car up, comes back through the rush hour traffic, and it is Friday and the weather is dreadful. So if he's finishing at 3:07, he might not get here till about 4:30. So we're going to take the services as they come today. There's a part of me hoping it's going to be quiet so I can get caught up, and there's a part of me really hoping that it's going to be really busy and that we'll get on with things today. So come along with us on this journey and we will show you what today brings.
Well, afternoon, I made it to the store. It was roughly about, I think it was 4:35 that I finally made it to the store. I literally got changed and then had a mountain of sharpenings that I had to do. So I managed to catch up on everything apart from there's one set of steels that are just sitting there. I think I had about 7 or 8 pairs that were waiting for me when I came in, and we had a customer who hadn't seen the post saying that I was technically not going to be here today. There would be no services. I was going to try and catch up on all the stuff tomorrow, but I ended up catching up on it tonight. We had one customer who wasn't best pleased at the fact that I wasn't there to sharpen their skates at that specific time, but there's nothing I can do about it. It was just part and parcel of working in this new job, where I did say and I did post that there was going to be some interruption to the sharpenings and stuff like that. So anyway, we've got everything up to date now. I am literally just going to go and collapse in a heap. I'm actually not going to go and collapse in a heap. It was, what, 5 o'clock, up at 4 o'clock this morning for a 5:37 start. So I couldn't sleep after 4, so because the last couple of days I've been up quarter to 4 o'clock, and then obviously working at 5. So because of that, I couldn't sleep any further past that. So I'm looking forward to tonight, where hopefully I can actually sleep past 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I'm exhausted again, but I have to go and train. I haven't been able to train properly this week and it's really annoying me. I can see changes in my body, which, because I'm so tired, that I'm probably seeing things I shouldn't be seeing. And I don't mean that in a bad way, I just mean it in the sense that I'm feeling not my usual self. So I need to go de-stress, go train, and then I can go and sleep. But then also have to do a lot of uploads for the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So I've got 3 videos that are actually prepared. The last video that I had ready for YouTube was today, which is Friday, whatever the date is. So the last video I had was Friday the 4th of July. So I've now got another 3 videos that have been made, and I have been trying to get stuff put together on the Insta360 Go when I'm out on and about with a bus job. And Pam's obviously been keeping up to date with the GoPro, I think. So I'm sure there will be some more content. I think we've got an order coming today or tomorrow as well, or Monday, I think it might be. I think there's going to be some new Warrior sticks and some stock order that's going to be put in the store. So we'll see how that goes, and I might actually have some reviews for you for a change, which is really, really good, because I really want to get back to doing the reviews, and I really want to get back to doing the interviews with players, as well as possibly there's another idea in the pipeline, but stay tuned for that. I'm not giving anything away just yet. Anyway guys, I'm going to go. I will see you guys again tomorrow, bright and early, 12:30. Well, good afternoon, guys. It is Saturday the 5th of July. It is 2:25 in the afternoon. It has been a busy day so far today. When we got to the store, there was actually a queue of people waiting for us outside. Pamela was actually able to get to the store quicker than me. There was diversions all over Paisley because it was called Small Shots Day, and there was stuff going on in Paisley and all the surrounding roads were closed. So I finally managed to get to the store about 1:45 because the traffic was so bad. Finally managed to get in, and when I got in there was a load of skates there for me, so I got to work straight away, got all the sharpenings done. I have been very consistent today with sharpenings. That must be something to do with the fact that I've obviously not been in the store for the last couple of days properly, due to the fact I've obviously gone through training for the other job. So basically today's jobs that I have got hanging over my head is I'm going to try and take Robin's goalie pads apart, and I'm going to try and see if I can add in some new buckles and new straps. So apologies, I had to kind of stop it very quickly there because Pamela was on the phone to one of the kids and they were talking very loud. So I decided that I was going to stop the video so that Pamela could be on the call with Sam. So one of the other jobs that's been brought in today is we actually have a Bauer helmet today, and this part of the helmet is broken, and I'm going to have to try and see if I can devise a way to fix the helmet to get it to go back together. Now this clip here usually is on this part here, but this clip is now jammed on here, so I'm going to have to take that off and see what I can do. The other thing I'm also going to have to do is look at the state of the helmet screws. The helmet screws are rusted within an inch of their life, which means that I'm going to have to try and see if I can get them off in some way, shape or form. Apparently the visor is coming off it as well because the visor is going to be replaced. If you can see, it doesn't really look very pretty. It's very scratched and very dirty. So I'm going to have to try and see if I can get that fixed as well. Again, Pamela's favourite saying, just buy a new one, but the whole aspect of some of the customers don't have the cash to be able to buy new ones, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can do my best to try and get this one fixed as well. I had a wee look to see what was going on with this part here. So I managed to get this piece off. This piece here is usually held on to this outside part of the helmet, and there's usually something that goes over two parts that can actually screw in. Now, as you can see, hopefully here, I'm trying to do this one-handed while Pamela's kidding on, she's typing. This part here is actually meant to be on this part here. This part here. That part there is meant to be on that part there, and that is where it's screwed into. So it looks as if I'm going to have to try and devise a way to try and get something stuck on there so that I can actually have something to screw into. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tough one, I reckon. But we'll come back in maybe a wee 10-15 minutes and I'll see. I'm going to change the running order of this today. I'm actually going to do this helmet first because it's really intriguing me how I'm going to get it fixed. I know how to fix the goalie pads, so the goalie pads shouldn't take that much time. Right guys, so this is a bit of a bust of a video again. It's 9 minutes past 5. Pam is still doing the same email that she was doing earlier on because there was an influx of customers today, which is really good for business. Obviously in this time of the summer or the off season, it is imperative that we get people coming in the door. So one of the things I'm going to show you just now is I have actually taken the helmet to bits. Haven't taken the visor off yet. The reason being is I had to get into these parts here just to have a look at it. It looks as if there's two raised parts here that are obviously meant to accept screws. Now the problem that we have is, if you can just see here, they're broken off and they are now sitting up here. Now what I've got to try and do is try and find a way to either reattach them or alternatively, unfortunately, drill holes through the helmet, and I'm going to have to make a helmet that is not, how would I put it, unadjustable. I'm going to have, it's going to be adjustable from the top. So if you can look at the mechanism, this is probably giving trade secrets away here and I'll probably get into trouble for this, but in the inside here is where that part here goes into, right? It goes in here, and that's to stop the helmet moving for the adjustment aspect. Now, originally when Bauer had helmets previously, they used to have screws on the outside on this part here. Now, I might have to actually just drill these parts out and put screws into them, and basically visor screws or helmet screws. Let me see if I can find what I'm meaning. So if we were to use this on the inside, and maybe if we can use this on the outside to make it like an old helmet, that might get the player by, because the helmet was actually broken in 2 different areas. I don't really want to have to do that, but I can't really think of anything else that's going to be better for the helmet at the moment. Now, I have done some plastic welding before, but I've never ever tried to plastic weld this part on, and I'm not going to be able to find the screws that are the same size because the screws are absolutely tiny. So that realistically gives me the only option that I have is to put these in the helmet to try and make it so that it can hold its adjustment. And what I mean by hold its adjustment, these parts, they raised parts just here, go into here, and there's a spacer that was sitting on the inside of this part here, or the outside, that stopped it from going through. Now, I actually just binned the parts, but let me see if I can find one. There we go. So this is what it was. So you have a washer and a screw that went into the side of the helmet and the inside to hold it in place. Obviously, they're not going to work. They're absolutely rusted to death. Same with the parts that are holding in the visor. What I'm going to do is market drill it and put a nut and bolt in it. And unfortunately, that's just going to hold the helmet back in place in the middle. Now, it's not necessarily going to look the cleanest. It's going to go against the whole aspect of trying to make it a repair that is functionable. It's still going to be functionable to an extent, but it will not be unnoticed, shall we say. You will have 2 screws over the Bauer name, which is unfortunate. So that's realistically the only way that I can think of doing it. Other than that, we have had a couple of visits from some friends that have been in today. We've had a lot of customers in while I was sharpening. Tony finally managed to get his new custom true skates, and he went for the 3D moulded tongue as well. So he was in to get his skates sharpened today. He got them from a store down south, which was Willie's, and when they came, he had asked them to be sharpened at a 5/8. They told him they were going to sharpen them at a half, and they actually turned up with an inch on them, which is next to nothing. It's very, very flat. So he had to bring them in today to get them sharpened so that he could go and try them properly, because he said that he was finding that he had no edges whatsoever. They were very, very, not necessarily no edges, there was edges there, but it was sliding a lot, so he wanted to have his normal grind. So he's now away happy in the knowledge that he has his normal grind, and he's going to try and see how his skates are over the next little while. One of the other things that we actually did do while he was in was we had a look at the 3D tongue, and he was not complaining, but he was disappointed that the Velcro didn't go up higher on the tongue. Now, if I can show you on these ones, here's one I had made earlier. As we can see, the Velcro on the standard tongue goes up slightly higher. Now, on the 3D moulded ones, the Velcro is missing by that much. That's all the Velcro that there is, and there's a slight bit missing here. So just by luck, I actually had Velcro which was self-adhesive, and I put that on for about a 2-finger width attachment, so that he could then put the tongue closer into the toe box, which would mean that he didn't have to put he's got these things that basically take up the excess space in the inside of the skate. I can't remember what they're called, but he now doesn't have to do that because the tongues take up the excess space in the toe box, which makes the skate a lot more comfortable for him. We should have enough for a video, and if we've not got enough for a video, I will be back on Tuesday in the store, which means that when I'm in on Tuesday, I will be tackling this helmet, because we're going out tonight for a night out without the kids for the first time in ages. So that's why we're finishing up now, and we're finishing and then going. So I'll be back in on Tuesday. I'll do Robin's blocker and his pad, and then we'll have a look at the helmet and see how we go for there. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it cold-blooded.
A few moments later.
Right, so bonus footage. It's now 8 minutes past 6. I'm still here. We were talking about a couple of things earlier on in the video, and I was saying about I had an idea, and it came to me just as I was walking out the store. Originally, I had planned that I was going to, we're obviously going out for a dinner tonight, but it's not until 7:30, so I had a wee bit of time left. And I'm still going to the gym before we go out, because I have to train, because like one of the things that, because we've been so busy in the last couple of weeks, the anxiety levels have been through the roof. So training for me just keeps me nice and calm. On the way out the door, I had a thought to myself, I'm just going to go and try something. So I went into my little box of tricks, which is all the helmet screws and stuff like that. what we've done here is we've added in some visor screws or visor bolts here, which is obviously in the area which is for the adjustment. And unfortunately, we've had to drill a couple of holes in the side of the helmet and put 2 screws. Now these 2 screws, although they are technically not meant to be there, they are basically serving the function of they are literally holding the channel. They had to have something that rode along the channel to allow for the helmet to expand and contract. So the helmet now does move back and forward. It is able to be changed size again. So it is now fixed in the sense that we don't have parts hanging off of it anymore. These parts here, there's one thing that I would say that usually happens here is you've got these wee runners that go in here as well. You don't necessarily need them. The only reason why they're there is to protect, I think, these wee parts here that are from the actual side of the helmet moulding, which the screws go into. So what I basically did is I've just got rid of them. I just basically drilled 2 small holes through to allow for the bolts, the screws and the nuts to go through there. And as I say, in that channel that I showed you earlier on, here we have 2 of the bolts or nuts in there, and we've got the bolts through the other side as well. So the helmet is now basically going to be usable again. It's not necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing, but at the same point, it's fixed. I say it is fixed. It's going to be functional, and again, it's saving the customer money. The customer obviously does have another helmet which is a spare, but at the same point, the way that I've done this, it still is able to be adjusted and it can still use the standard adjustment feature as well. All you realistically had to have there was something just that holds the wee bits in place and allows it to follow that channel. So that was it done. I kind of overcomplicated it by thinking I was going to have to make plastic welds, I was going to have to mould some stuff. I thought about trying to actually glue in the helmet screws, like parts like this, and the inside, but I decided against that because you've got to try and make life as easy as possible at times. So that's basically what I've done. I've made it easy as possible for me. The only thing I've now got to try and do is replace the screws and nuts from the visor. They will get taken off on Tuesday when I'm back in, so I'll come back to you then, but this is definitely us finished this time.